All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a bit of a mind-bending journey, honestly. We are going to connect the dots between medieval royal lineage and the absolute cutting edge of global digital finance. I know, it sounds like a massive leap, right? But stick with me here, because by the end of this, you are going to see exactly how a centuries-old approach to sovereign power has perfectly positioned one tiny European nation to become an absolute powerhouse in the modern token economy.
So you might be wondering, how on earth did an ancient, non-expansionist crown become the bedrock of the decentralized digital economy? It's a pretty brilliant plot twist of history. We all know the modern digital economy, and crypto in particular, has this reputation for being wild, completely unregulated, and, well, chaotic. Normally, we think of traditional monarchies and decentralized blockchains as complete opposites. But as we'll uncover today, the exact same legal philosophy that kept a small principality safe for hundreds of years is actively being used right now to solve modern crypto chaos.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our story starts in the Principality of Liechtenstein. Nestled right there between Austria and Switzerland, it is a stunning, very compact microstate. But seriously, don't let its tiny geographical footprint fool you for a second. It boasts a highly educated, super tech-savvy workforce, a booming industrial sector, and direct market access to the broader European economic area. It's a tiny footprint for sure, but with a massive global reach.
Section 1. The Hook and the Hierarchy. Historically speaking, the mandate of a king is almost always expansionist. It's imperial, it's conquest-driven, and it's totally obsessed with absorbing neighboring territories to build a larger nation. But the title in Liechtenstein is first, or prince. In the old hierarchy of the Holy Roman Empire, a first was the ruler of a smaller, semi-independent territory. It essentially acts as a hard ceiling of sovereignty. The title isn't some mandate to conquer empires. It is anchored strictly to specific, clearly defined lands. The prince is the absolute highest sovereign rank the country holds, which creates a legal perimeter that is entirely non-expansionist.
Section 2. Purchasing Imperial Sovereignty.
Let's move to how this builds, because this is wild. This sovereignty wasn't won through some massive bloody conquest. It was basically the ultimate real estate transaction. The family was actually elevated to the rank of prince back in 1608, but they lacked a territory with imperial immediacy to give them a real sovereign seat at the imperial diet. So what did they do? Prince Hans Adam I tactically purchased the lordship of Schellenberg in 1699 and then the county of Vaduz in 1712. By 1719, these lands were officially united into the principality. They literally just bought their seat at the table, securing power without ever once threatening the massive empires surrounding them like the Habsburgs.
And you know, this modest, non-expansionist philosophy is exactly what allowed Liechtenstein to survive the incredible turbulence of European history. Their modesty was literally their armor. Because they were never viewed as a territorial threat trying to gobble up land, they managed to remain completely intact through the total, dramatic collapse of the Holy Roman Empire in 1806, and even later, the fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire in 1918. They survived by remaining compact, clearly defined, and neutral.
Section 3. A stable sovereign trust.
Fast forward to the modern era, and the princely house operates almost like the CEO of a sovereign trust. They prioritize stability and the strict preservation of wealth. The prince literally shares state power with the people. Think of it like a country running with the long-term, strategic efficiency of a highly successful, modern corporation. And this isn't just some ancient artifact they're stuck with. It's an actively chosen dynamic. In a 2003 referendum, an overwhelming 64.3% of the population actually voted in favor of a constitutional reform that firmly reaffirmed the prince's active working role in the state.
To put that into perspective, the results of this model are frankly astounding. This hyper-focus on private wealth and advisory excellence has generated over $57 billion total in assets under management for their asset management companies. Furthermore, this stable legal environment has helped generate a staggering GDP per capita of over $157,000 for its citizens. It is just a wildly effective, well-oiled machine of governance.
Section 4. The Token Container Model. Now, what's really interesting about this is what happened in 2020. Liechtenstein enacted the Blockchain Act, or TVTG. It introduced something truly revolutionary, the token container model. Instead of trying to awkwardly regulate blockchain technology itself, which is always a headache, the law defines a digital token simply as a vessel. It's a container that holds a specific underlying legal right. That could be property, equity, or a contract. Just as the historical crown was a defined legal vessel holding the rights of those purchased lands centuries ago, the modern token is a defined legal vessel holding digital rights today.
So, how does this actually bridge the digital and physical worlds?
Well, step 1. A digital token is transferred on the blockchain. Step 2. Because of the TVTG, the underlying legal right transfers automatically in the eyes of the law. But step 3 is where the everyday user really wins. Enter the physical validator. This is a legally required service provider whose entire job is to audit the reality of the asset. They ensure that if a token says it represents a physical bar of gold, that bar actually exists in a real vault somewhere. It completely eliminates the smoke and mirrors we usually associate with crypto scams.
So the crucial point here is why this matters on a global scale. The broader European Union recently rolled out MiCAR regulations to govern the overarching supervisory rules for crypto. But here's the catch. MiCAR explicitly leaves actual property and ownership rights up to individual member states. That's a massive legal loophole. Liechtenstein's TVTG fixes it perfectly. It legally states the private key holder is the presumed legal owner. It provides actual, enforceable civil law. It literally turns cryptocurrency from speculative narrative bubbles into legally protected, rock-solid property.
Section 5, Code and the Crown.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate realization of this explainer. The parallel we've been uncovering is just stunning. On one side, we have the principality itself, a constitutional container protecting historical sovereignty defined by strict borders and a non-expansionist mandate. And on the exact other side, we have the digital token, a civil law container protecting digital rights defined by the strict legal perimeter of the TVTG. The Prince provides a stable, predictable vessel for the nation in the exact same way that TVTG provides a stable, predictable vessel for digital assets.
Fascinatingly, researchers point out that Prince Joseph Wenzel is actually the legitimate heir to the historical Jacobite Stuart claim. In academic circles, this is framed neutrally as the Jacobite alternative, which is basically a model representing a non-extractive monarchy. Observers note that this deeply traditionalist legitimacy aligns surprisingly well with the desire of modern technologists to find a sovereign authority that respects economic autonomy and operates within fixed, reliable constitutional bounds, rather than just arbitrary, unchecked expansion.
We can actually see this synthesis at work in decentralized tech today, like the Q protocol. The Q protocol closely mirrors the non-expansionist crown. It operates under a strict, fixed QGov constitution. Its validators act as network sovereigns, but their power is strictly bounded by the rules, just like a constitutional monarchy. Because it is rooted in Liechtenstein's TVTG framework, it delivers what early crypto only promised: true, bounded legal certainty without centralized tyranny.
So as the wild, unregulated narrative bubbles of early crypto finally fade away, we have to ask, are constitutional micromonarchies the ultimate guardians of our digital rights? It turns out that a sovereign structure defined by modest boundaries, centuries of stable trust management, and a strict adherence to civil law might just be the absolute perfect container for the decentralized future. It's an incredible full-circle moment where centuries-old history meets futuristic technology. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this leaves you eager to dig deeper into the incredible token economy of Liechtenstein.